Okay, correct. Kama ye asya hridi shritaha. Correct. Yeah, Swapna.
Namaste. So the Sakalendriyani Nirudhya, right? So in that you gave the example of sitting in class and when somebody gets up and goes, that was the example, right? For that. Right. So I just
Yeah,
wanted to, maybe some of us in the group may agree with me, but that's the challenge of Zoom class as well. People chatting, right, while the teaching is going on. So over time, I am learning to not look there and look away. So it is a discipline that, thanks to people who chat so often, I'm learning to grow out of that urge to read what is coming or what has been written, or that sense of, oh, will I miss out if I don't read? That missing out thing is such a um, such a, I think, constant work happening constantly, especially while studying this, because people are studying so much, they come with so many things, and it's very easy to get, oh, that book, this book, oh, this you did, oh, this class, that class. So personally, I am really working on that, not to get distracted, just focus on what I am hearing. And many a times I don't even look at the screen because it is very annoying. I should not say the word annoying. It is very disturbing when it keeps popping up and it stays for a long time. So anyway, just wanted to express that. Um, and
so
also
yeah,
I'm
so
just,
that so therefore Zoom. So in a regular class, these disturbances are not possible at all. Literally not possible. And there are no devices, first of all, and extra devices not there. And we are just listening to somebody who's talking. And you can write notes, you don't have to write notes, whatever. But only thing possible is listening. And discussing with, communicating with others is not possible. And we are not interested also. But here, communication is made possible somehow. And so, in fact, I don't know if you remember, I don't look at this message. Message is coming up, but I don't look at it. Often I don't. This today I looked at it. And but normally I don't look at it because it will distract me, and I like what I'm doing. And satsang is anyway there to clarify. So it's not like we are going to run away from this place. So you're right. So it's something all of us can practice, that you talked about. Yeah. Next question. Yeah.
and
Go ahead. So
another, just a concern. Is Venkatramanji okay? I've not seen him for a while. So does anybody know? Do you know? He didn't attend Abhyasa class also, is very regular. So we can talk about it later, but I just wanted to express that.
right, right. So I spoke to him a week ago, and he said he's coming to the camp and all that. So we should somebody can in India can call him and check on him and
Because
make
I
sure.
sent him a message, he hasn't responded. Um, I did tell him that I missed you both Abhyasa class, everything okay. No response has come yet. So, okay. Dhanyawad.
We follow up on. Yeah, Hemaji.
Guruji, this Antyashrami versus Atyashrami. I don't know whether Antyashrami, you said, is the end of all the ashramas. So the one who is in that ashrama. And Atyashrami, did I miss what you explained? I don't know. I'm not sure. Atyashrami also the same?
Ashramam atitya tishtati iti atyashrami.
Ashram Atitya. Oh.
Yeah, atitya, of course.
Okay.
Atitya
Like
means the
beyond
person
that.
is not A person who is not associated with any ashrama is called atyashrami. Even though we say the person is a sannyasi and all, but during meditation, even a sannyasitvam should not be there in the mind.
Okay. That atita, kala atita, that atitya, that type of
Yes,
word.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. And one more thing, this Bhajagovindam, it comes satsangatve nissangatvam. You spoke about satsanga, what that nissangatvam is there. I mean, whether it's relevant or not, I do not know. I just felt like asking.
Yeah, so there Bhagavan Shankaracharya makes a beautiful point. He says satsanga is needed. Satsanga is needed. But satsangatve, what do you get out of it? Nissangatvam you should get. That is the greatest satsanga.
That is detached.
That is, you are detached anyway. You can't be
So
attached to
they say,
anything.
actually detached attachment, they say, detached. Something like
Let them say whatever they want. I'm saying that satsanga's purpose is what? To recognize that I am asanga. I am asanga to begin with. That is why. That is why Buddhism is almost like Hinduism, except what they say, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Here we say Sangam, Asangam Sharanam Gacchami. That is Vedanta. Buddhism is
Sangam
Sangam.
Tyakva.
That's
Sangam
what,
Tyakva. Okay. And,
just by the way, yeah.
and one more thing in yoga, that Sukhasana, of course, Stiram Sukham Asanam also is a definition. And Sukhasana is also a slightly relaxed Padmasana is also called Sukhasana.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Because Padmasana is where you lock, but the Padmasana, I mean, where you sit with both this thing, knees, legs one over like that. Sukhasana is slightly relaxed because not everybody is able to sit in that Padmasana. They say you can sit in Sukhasana. And of course, we have that Yoga Nidra also, where you do the sort of, you're aware, you don't sleep. It is not a sleep, it's a practice. Yoga Nidra also is there. Okay, good. This is all I wanted to say. Thank you.
So in Vedanta, we don't emphasize, Padmasana, Sukhasana, etc. Sit in a comfortable posture. Sukham Sthiram Asana. That's it. And let it be stable. Let it be something that you can sit in for some time. And that's about it. We don't emphasize that you must be in this asana or that asana. Yeah. Thank you. Maheshji.
Namaste. This Atyashramastaha. Is this three words Ati Ashrama Staha together?
It's one word.
Okay, it's not Ati Ashrama and Staha.
So ashrama is a word. Then atyashrama becomes one word. Ashramam atitya iti atyashrama. One who
There's no
has.
Ati as such, as a word by name Ati.
These are not. This is one word. Atyashramastaha is one, which is formed by three words, joining three words, which has now become one word. It's one samasa. Samasa.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Another thing is this Shuchihi in this sloka 1.5. There's Shuchihi, and in 1.6, Vishuddham. What is the difference between Vishuddham and Shuchi?
I will talk about it when we come to Vishuddha.
Oh, okay. All right. Because in some books, the whole thing is in one sloka.
Yeah, so that's correct. Good point. So I'm going by the handout, and
Yeah, I agree.
even otherwise, some other books I've seen different incantations of these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay. I think
Okay, that's
general
okay.
order.
Okay,
I think is order. I've not seen any difference. So
no, order is not different, but some of them I have 6 lines versus say 4 lines.
that's all incidental. Yeah.
I don't know. So that's But
Thank you.
Jagamarji, one question. When we, I mean, I thought when we start learning Upanishad, we should have already learned this meditation, bhakti, and all understanding, right? Isn't that an expected prerequisite? Like we learn Bhagavad Gita, then come to Upanishad. So we know all the dhyanam and bhakti and all those what Krishna's teaching, values, all are understood. So I'm just uh, wondering why this dhyanam is talked about.
Yeah. So Upanishad is choosing to talk about dhyana. But it's not pure dhanam also. There is a lot of Vedantic messages here also.
Okay.
So it is dhyanam combined with the message, and Upanishad chooses to do that. So there's no rule that says what is a prerequisite should not be talked about. Okay.
No, I
So
understand, but
it's
you know,
different.
yeah, we didn't see it in say so far. I mean, we didn't see it in Kathopanishad. So far, we have not seen in Mundaka Upanishad. So I was just wondering why this is spoken. Maybe there is a reason behind it when you go further down. So
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can answer
yeah,
that.
there are some words from, I mean, Purusha Suktam also is there in one of the mantras here. So I was just going through it. So maybe or the Ganapati Adarvashish are also is there in this.
Yeah. Vama. Thanks, ma. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you, Mahesh. Yeah. Haraji.
Namaste, Mahodaya. It's quite cold in Houston today.
Yeah, I heard these cold spells you guys are getting. So,
Yeah, mid-20s. Anyway.
mid-20s, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, coming back, you made a reference into Swami Paramatmananda in your talk. Does he have a commentary on this Upanishad?
Yeah, right. So I mentioned Swami Paramarthananda. Paramarthananda. Okay. So he's our guru. He teaches in Chennai. Okay?
Yeah.
He's a student of Swami Dayananda ji. And so I have when I studied this in the ashram, I have my notes. Okay. Then there's Puja Swamiji's notes, there is Swami Viditatmanandaji's book, there is Tattvavidanandaji's notes, and Swami Paramarthanandaji's classes on Kaivalya Upanishad is available as a PDF file. In fact, I'm that is my notebook now.
Have
I
you sent
printed.
that? Have you sent that to us?
No, I'm not sent this notebook because I'm supposed to use this and teach you. So I didn't send it. But Ramuji can do that, and it's in fact Ramuji could have done the transcription of this also. So somebody has done it. And so I'm for me.
I've done that. Is there? I can send it.
I would appreciate if you can send that to me, Ramuji.
Arsha Avinashin, it is there.
Yeah, I looked at it, but I could find only.
So Ramuji, if you can send that link to Haraji,
Okay.
that should take care of it.
It is there in the arshavinash.in.
It is audio is there in the Shastra Prakashika app. If you are a listener, this is for the reader.
No, I want I want the commentary.
Okay, done. This
Thank
is not
you.
a bhashyam. This is only on the moolam, like what we are doing. Let me not confuse you. It is only on the Upanishad. Of course, there is no bhashyam. No for that. Okay, sorry.
So in fact, whatever I'm saying is all from this book only. And then on top of that, I've written my notes and what Swami Tattvavidanandaji says, etc. I've added to that. But that becomes my from where I'm teaching. My notes are all from.
Jayakumarji, should I send to Harikumar only, Shastriji only, or to the common group?
Yeah, you can send it to the group. They can see it. Yeah.
No problem. Done.
Send the link. Send the link. That is best. That is the best.
Okay. Okay. Very done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saji, go ahead.
Dhanyavada.
Namaste, Kumarji. Before going to my question, I just want to comment on what Swapnaji has said. She has brought a very valid point. But when I think about it, maybe previously, because I am already set with the answer to that. So yeah, it may be whatever she said is correct. But sometimes I feel I have to give answer to my mind, which tells me that sometimes if I get a question at that point of time, now because we use the tools which are IT tools, so rather than writing here, probably I put it there in the text, so so that I don't forget it later. No, that sort of, so people can probably register in the text there. That's what I came up with my own solution. So I ignored that, but that might be one of the reason why I could do that. Now, actually, now I think when I'm talking about it, the question which I was framing is somewhat relevant also. So any action or thought which transgress the standard, for example, universal standards. By going through chapter 13, we have formed a matrix of the values, right? Universal values which we need to follow. When we transgress them, then I try to self-judge them, right? Whenever I get a thought, I try to self-judge that, so that I feel, oh, I should not do this, or whatever solution I wanted to find. So, but this is considered as because we talked about Saucha, we got Saucha has come in the class. So this is considered as Antara Asaucha. So because self-judgment probably called Antara Saucha. Now, my question is, if that is so, then it's sometimes we think, and most of us think that by doing the self-judgment, we wanted to correct ourselves. So we took it as a positive tool. From the beginning, we have been doing that. Even before exposure to that, whoever is wise enough in their own mind, they try to say, I do my self-judgment and try to correct what has been wrong, which I feel is wrong. But now it is actually happens to be the Antara Asaucha, self-judgment or self-condemnation. In many cases, the cognitive distortions, all the negativities which happen, which we try to sometimes say, I don't want to say anything negative about somebody else or something. But if in order to explain a particular situation, we may have to say something strongly to emphasize the point rather than criticizing somebody else. So, but then if I go back, did I say that whatever I said, is it negative? If I start thinking, then I'd start doing self-judgment there. But even though my intention is not that. So, but bottom line is that it is Antara Asaucha, what is to be done? Because I negate the those self-judgment thoughts and go towards non-self judgment thoughts. So is that the solution? Because I have to ignore those, or rather refuse the self-judgment thoughts. Hope I'm clear on the question.
Yeah. So these are all meant for our growth process. And we should come to a point where we are not judging anybody, including ourselves. It is automatic. It's automatic, like driving a car. Initially, you have to deliberately press the brake, press the accelerator, press the brake, accelerator, gear change. All these are deliberate, very difficult and confusing also, possibly. Then after a while, what? You do the same thing, except you're not even aware of it, that you're doing it. And so that's because it becomes second nature to me at that point. And so, and even judging also, I have changed the language now. I'm very aware that anything I say can hurt others also. And so all that I've taken care of. And what if somebody else gets hurt? Suppose we say, I know that it is possible. That eventuality is there. Getting hurt, eventuality is there. We are not trying to eliminate. It's not. You're trying to minimize hurt. That's all. And hurt, anybody can get hurt at any time, including myself. And so we are not talking about an ideal situation. Ideal is never possible. So you just said already, eliminating that habit of judging myself is gone. It's all gone. So after that, you're just coasting smoothly. Coasting smoothly. Things will happen. Things will happen. You have a way of dealing with situation. There's no such thing as perfect. Because somebody can look at you and say, no, that you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that means what? Hey, I know the situation. I made a judgment call and I did this. Let's see what happens. That's your attitude. No, I think this is fine. This is fine.
Because sometimes it gives guilt again. That's where we get into.
So we have to get over it. We have to get over it. This process, the growth process. Part of the growth process that says, you know what? There is no recipe for many things in life, and I'm constantly dealing with situations, and so there will be situations where I have to make a call, and that call is not going to be comfortable for everybody. So what? Then what? That means what? Somebody is going to not like it, and then I feel hurt that they got hurt. I feel hurt that they got hurt means again now I'm in the same trap, and so accept the fact that this is going to happen. This is going to be happening, and so it's all right. And that's Vyavaharika is like that. Vyavahara is like that. And I've tried my best. Therefore, guilt will not be there. Guilt need not be there. It will come. Guilt will come, and you have to laugh at the guilt and say, "Come on, come on, hey, come on, enough. The game is over. To go to somebody else's place, okay? Stop. Don't play with me like this. You can't fool me. Like that, you play with guilt. It will go away. Because you don't have any intentions. Ill intentions not there at all. Then how can there be guilt? That's it over. I've done my best. And I'm ready to apologize also if I hurt you. That also I'm ready. Then where is the question of guilt?
I mean, the way mind works like that at that time. So basically, we have to even we cannot blame the mind also because it's still Jada, right? In that sense. So it is the thought. The problem is with the thought.
Right. So we have to, yeah. So we don't have to take every thought that comes in the mind as what? As a judgment.
Mm.
You can dismiss thoughts. We have the right to dismiss thoughts. You can smile at the thought.
Right.
This is, you were helpful for me. Now you're not helpful for me anymore. Please go. You were helpful for me because that thought is important. That the guilt is important thought. It's not a random thought. It's important. And that helped me, my compass. You helped me set my compass right. Now my compass is right. And this is no longer in the guilt category. It is just a question of what is the best of them among the four options. And this is what I chose. And nobody ever going to approve that what I did is right. This right tick will never come. Therefore, this is how it is. Swamiji would say, people would come and argue with Swamiji and all that. Argue with Swamiji means what? Hey, the message is given. Now it's up to you. Go lead a life. And these are all situation dependent, context dependent, and very personal situations are there. And we have to have a say over these things. Be assertive and be ready to make course corrections. Be ready to apologize if needed, because we are not going to make the right, quote unquote, right decision also. Sometimes you look back and say, no, I should not have said that. Okay, that's it. That's how life is. That's how mind is. We're not looking for perfection here. Perfection is the person, that is another thing in Vedanta. Perfection seeking, we don't teach at all. Krishna doesn't teach perfection. Krishna says ups and downs are going to be there. Be dharmic. Dharma is interpreted. And so, and you'll have to, you may think back and say, I did wrong. So be ready to make changes. Be ready to apologize. The person is not there. Do some prayaschitta karma and be done with it. Move on. Move on. That's how our approach should be. And yeah, this Vedanti is a very sensitive person. Very sensitive person. And so they will see more than anybody else can see. And so um, we have to move out of the trap of dharma. That's why Nachiketa says dharma, anyatra dharma, anyatra dharma. Look at that. He realized that this cycle is unending because it can, there is dharma is not absolute.
Yeah.
It's not absolute. You have to just put a full stop somewhere and move on.
But the content is absolute, right? The content of the universal value, that is absolute in the sense, once what is defined in there.
But your question was not about the content.
Yeah,
the question is about the actual dharma itself.
Yeah.
Right. So content is.
Right. Thank you, Ji.
Yeah. Thank you, Prasad. Jyoti ji.
This is about Sangha and Sangha that we were discussing.
You're right.
Sangha, Alpa Prana is association and Sangha is groups. So when we were talking, Sangham is Sangam Sharanam is Mahaprana Gha and Satsanga is Alpa Prana. So the meanings are different. That's what I thought I should add.
Things are different, but there is a thread, a common thread. The thread is Sangha.
Yeah.
Alpa Prana thread is there.
There also Alpa Prana Sangha is there in that Sangha, yes. And as you said, I'm ready to apologize because I have a tendency to send messages in the chat box. So from today, I'm going to stop that, Guruji. Because as Prasad Garu was telling, because I'll forget later, maybe I used to add one sentence maybe to discuss later. But if it's going to distract my classmates, my sahapatis here, I'm going to refrain from that from today onwards.
So you look at it differently. See, I suggest you look at it differently. It is distracting you to begin with. So even though does not look like a distraction to you, but it can be a distraction to you also because you are taking the time to type it, etc. And when you're typing, you're not listening to me. I can guarantee you that. Okay. So that means you're missing out some stuff that I'm talking about because you're seriously typing the two Sanskrit and this and that. You're doing a lot of stuff. So you can say, you can write it down and you already have the idea. It's not like you're going to forget everything after the class. So you made a note of it in your notebook. You can write it at your leisure and it's useful for others also, no doubt. So we're not saying don't do it, but you may be distracting yourself. This is the point I want to say.
Correct.
For
Correct. I realized that. I realized that. So from next class onwards, you will not see any messages on the chat box from my side.
See, suppose I'm muted. I'm talking, it is muted. Then what will you do? I will not say no more messages from me. You don't have to say, no, Guruji, you're muted.
That we can say.
Interpreting, see? Therefore, there's no such thing called absolute. There's no such thing. Okay.
Relative. It is relative.
It's relative. I see a point. I see the point. Yeah. So we'll take that point.
Okay. Today, actually, I wrote Kopa Vembuda Kelu Papada Nelagattu. It's a Kannada Sarvagna. Everybody must have heard about Sarvagna Kavi. He was a philosopher poet from Karnataka. He used to write 3-liners. Tripadis he used to write. He is a famous philosopher, poet of maybe, I forget the date, but he has written like this. Kopa Vembuda Kelu Papada Nelagattu. I think people can understand. Kopa Embudu, Papada Nelagattu is foundation for all the papas. Koopadolu, Nenu Haridante. Koopa is well. Nenu is rope. So the way rope gets into the Koopa, slowly this Kopi will get into Naraka. Koopadolu Nenu Haridante, Narakakke Kopi Tanu Ilivanu Sarvagna. Slowly he will get into the Koopa of Naraka. That is what he had written. So I thought I'll forget So I just wrote that one line. I'll write down in my notebook from today onwards.
Jyotiji, what's the
Yeah.
name? Name you said of the Kavi?
Narayanji, you're telling something?
Just two people talk.
Narayanji?
Yeah. Ramoji is asking a question to Jyotiji. Yes, two of you talk.
Name the poet he's asking.
Sarvagnya Kavi.
Oh,
Sarvagnya.
okay.
His
He was
Ankita is Sarvagnya.
Okay. He was talking about 262, 263. Fall of step, ladder of fall.
I didn't get. No, no,
Okay.
Guruji was telling Arishat Vargas we have to give up. That time he was telling Kopa is one of the bad stuff that is distracting us. He was also talking about jealousy. Then he spoke about anger. Anger is Kopa. So this is one famous Tripadi that Sarvagna Kavi has
Yeah.
written about Kopa. I
Yeah,
just
we got
wanted to tell that in the class.
He's relating it to chapter 2, verse 62, ladder of fall.
Ladder of fall.
So that dhyayate vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate. And also somewhere, Krishna talked about krodha. Where does it come? Krodha.
क्रोधयेषु रजोद्गुण समुद्भवः कामयेष क्रोधयेष रजोगुण समुद्भवः
18.
Mahashana, Mahapapma, but Krodha doesn't come there.
18th chapter also he says.
Look at
Krodhat
this.
bhavati sammoha.
Krodhat bhavati sammoha.
Krodhat bhavati sammoha is there. Very good. Very good. One more place he says, Narakasyedam dwaram. Okay. Nashanam atmanaha. Kamah krodhas tata lobaha. Kamaha krodhaha lobaha. He says this thing. Tasmat yetat trayam tyajet. He says it 2 times, I think. Somewhere else also it comes. I think. But anyway, this is it. So kamaha krodhaha lobaha. So idea is you can't separate these things. There's no, everything is born of the same. It's all connected. Krodha, lobha, these are different manifestations of our own insecurity. Different manifestation. So that Sarvagya Kavi has chosen Krodha has, okay, this is something, if there's one thing you want to focus on, he says focus on Krodha. Good trick. We need all these, things. If there's one thing you want to focus on himsa, ahimsa paramo dharmaha. Then that's it, the ahimsa. Then that means what? What about talking? Yeah, this vak adharma is the greatest of all the adharmas we can do. Physical beating, kicking and all, at least we can give it back and then we can get possibilities there. But once the words are uttered, that's it, you can't take them back. So, good. Shanti, go ahead.
This one, Guruji, I want to talk about Swapnaji's this thing. Prasadji told we can be self-judgmental. And I apologized to her immediately, and that too I only sent a message while you were talking about an example. The rest I have no idea about what to comment and all. This was an example. It's a known example. Many people know that. So I indicated that. Mahapariva also told the same thing, that we have to, the bandha has to go away from us. That is what Mahapariva told. But it is nothing to do with Swapnaji. Normally during our day-to-day life and all, have we to brush it away, or what? Have I to take everything to mind, to heart, or just leave it? It's okay. Let them, whoever speaks, let them speak. What is going to bother me? Have to develop that kind of an attitude sometimes? Is it so, Guruji, in samsara?
So this is a very, it's an important question. So what do I do in situations which are disturbing to us, right? So whether judgment is made by others on us, insults, like this, so many things are there. Somebody lied to us, okay? All these things go on constantly. abuse. These are all situation dependent, correct? There is no one answer to that question. Situation dependent. If there is an abusive person at home, okay, so this happens. This happens. So this calls. I get these calls periodically, and so there is an abusive person at home. The person is abusive, literally abusive, physically abusive, verbally abusive. Now tell me, what do you do? This is a very the situation itself is dangerous. Okay, it's waiting to the police have to step in. Okay, that's how dangerous this place is. Now you can't tell that person. No, Krishna has said you have to sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo. Hey, that is, let that be there. We will invoke that, no doubt. That's also important for us. But this is not that kind of situation. This is a situation where somebody is actually hurting others. Somebody can even kill the other person. This person has to be restrained, or something else has to be done. Some drastic step is needed. Okay, so we keep all those situations aside. Okay, they're all special situations. Now we are left with remaining situations, which are not dangerous to anybody, but it's going to be there. So whichever family I am born in, it is going to be there. There is no family without any of these things. There is no association without these things. There is no workplace without any of these things. Now let's talk about that. If you say, then we can invoke Sri Krishna's teachings. Then we can invoke and say, how can I benefit from these words of advice and things I can't change, things nobody can change, correct? Workplace, nobody can change. And occasionally some change is possible, but that's not possible. It's not those situations is what we are talking about. Family, nobody is going to change. Family is fixed for life. And so as long as it's not dangerous, etc., it's a constant, like a cancer, it keeps on coming, keeps on coming. Can I live with it? It's a call that we have to make. And Krishna gives us the strength to say you may be able to live with it. You are stronger than what you think you are. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. You're stronger than what you think you are. Then you begin to experiment. You have to experiment with this, obviously. And then you find that, you know what? Yeah, this is what I've been looking for. And and then the spouse also is wondering, what happened to you? You're not shouting back at me like, what happened to you means what? Oh, now only after so many years, Bhagavad Gita is working on you. He'll just spoke something like that. Finally, he's working on you. He also accepted Bhagavad Gita is good. Abba, what a great accomplishment that is.
In fact, if there is no change in us, they will say, after reading so much Bhagavad Gita, no changes in you, you are still shouting, you are getting angry. What is the use? They will say.
So Shanti ji, you got the message, I hope.
Yeah.
So we have to process it. There's no shortcut. In other words, there's no shortcut, and we have to keep processing it, and then we have to stop condemning ourselves also, them also. We become too sensitive, so we'll condemn ourselves. The tendency is for Vedanti to just criticize ourselves. Self-critical we will become. Then slowly we have to give up that self-criticism. Slowly come out of it and say that things are okay. Up and down, little bit up and down, it's all right. Every up and down I can't eliminate. Nobody can eliminate it. Krishna also could not eliminate. Being there in the middle of this, he couldn't do anything. That is a message. He couldn't do anything. Means what? This is how things will be. This is how things will be. We just learn to manage everything. We have to be very good managers of our lives. Correct?
I was just thinking we have should not be judgmental. Again, not to hurt anybody, offend anybody. I put the disclaimer, Guruji. But after learning all this 13th chapter and all, we have to put up with these people also. So that is the end. The bottom line is like that. Is it? We have to put up with all the things like that. If we want, we have to send a message. If we don't want, we need not send a message, or we send a message in spite of other people's perspective is different. So they have sent their view. I'm doing my thing. Is that a right approach or not a right
Right. So Krishna doesn't say that you can eliminate the situations. Krishna doesn't say that. Nowhere he says that. He never says the situations will disappear. He never say. He gives so much advice, okay? But he never once says, never once. He keeps on saying sukha dukkhe samay krutva. Just accept things because that's the way things are. Not once is there. He said there will be a time when there won't be any conflicts. Like that, he never says that. So yeah, we have to assess these situations, and if they get out of hand, we may have to do something drastic. But otherwise, we have to just find a way to deal with situations, and knowing that there will never be a situation where all parties will tick off and say, yeah, this is good. That is never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
See, there is actually we are always in the middle of any situation, and situation has to be dealt from the middle only. It cannot be dealt from the circumstance.
That's why they say நடுநிலைமையோட இருக்கணும்ங்கிறது அதான் போல.
So the sukhe dukkhe samay krutva says that we have to be in the balance.
Is okay, but then sometimes you have to put your foot down and take charge also. See, sometimes, many times we are saying deal with the situation in the best possible way, but sometimes that best possible way is to take charge. You have to take charge in a family. You have to take charge sometimes. The daughter-in-law has to take charge against the parents-in-law. Sometimes they have to. Husband is not helping. Children are not helping. Relatives are not helping. The in-law side, nobody is helping, and she is left to fend on herself by herself. She is now given the opportunity to take charge. Take charge. And nobody will be afraid of it. People will get aghast and they will throw stones at her. But she's saying, no, I have to take charge. That's it. That she is to be applauded. She is to be applauded. Because she is like a single lone warrior there. Nobody is helping her, correct? We see so many cases. Take charge. She has to take charge. And so she can put up. If she can put up with situation, that's also okay. We don't say one solution is better than the other. But taking charge is also an approach, and it comes from Viveka again. And I'm going to do this, and enough is enough, and like that, sometimes we have to take charge. So that's how it is, Shanti. Okay.
So nothing to do with Swapnaji. Swapnaji, it's nothing to do with your this thing. It only triggered all these thoughts. That's all, Swapnaji. Please don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Meera Narayan.
Namaste, Guruji. Prasadji was talking about dharma, no? So I thought I heard the content is absolute. Can you explain that? I didn't understand what is that content being absolute there?
What is content is absolute? Yeah, content is Satyam. Content of everything is Satyam. That is absolute. That is the meaning. Dharma is interpreted, but content of dharma is absolute, which is what Nachiketa is asking. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra dharmat. What is the essence of all this?
It has nothing to do with relativity. You mean to say the absolute, which is non-dual.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
because when we put words, it gets a little confusing. When content, I was thinking, what is the content there? Yeah, okay. It's the non-dual.
Yeah, it's a relative, basically. It is not absolute, it's relative. So
the content of the relative is absolute. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
No, just earlier we talked about Krodha. I just remembered the same thing. The Sparshan Krutva Bahirbahyan Chakshusha Ivantare Broho continues into Yatendriya Manobuddhihi Munirmoksha Parayana Vikatecha Bhayakrodha. So I just wanted to.
Very good. Vikatecha Bhayakrodha.
Yes, Sada
Because
Mukta Eva Saha.
Sada Mukta Eva Saha. Wow, what value they give for all these things. Krodha. Good. So,
You can meditate on one value for years.
correct. Nice. So we'll pause with that. See.
This value books is so much important. Without this, you cannot gain jnanam, he says.
Value of values. All right. So we'll pause with that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.